All right, welcome to this short presentation on the social media audit. We'll talk about the importance of it, and we'll talk about how to do it. This is brought to you by Communication One Exhibits of Salem, Oregon. I'm Tim Patterson. Find me on Twitter at TradeShowGuy. And, of course, the blog is TradeShowGuyblog.com. We'll have a freebie for you at the end of this if you'd like to wait all the way through, and I hope you do. So, if you don't know where you're going, as George Harrison once said, any road will get you there. If you're not familiar with this particular song from the great Beatle, well, you should check out the album Brainwashed, which is a great one. If you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. Well, let's see if we can help you find that road to where you are going. First of all, why wouldn't you conduct a social media audit? There are a number of reasons. Particularly, you want to know where you're at. You want to set a baseline. Where are you currently with your practices? You want to know who your competition is and what their current practices are. So you're gauging yourself and you're drawing a line in the sand. You're doing the same for your competition. And, of course, you may have a lot of competition. But I think when it comes to social media, you should probably identify the first 3 or 4 or 5 competitors, depending on how many competitors you have that are active in social media, that you can do this with. You want to establish goals while you're identifying all your practices and who your competition is, because this actually helps you identify those goals. What are those goals? How do you want to get there? And, of course, it helps you to build a strategy to get to where you want to go. And, again, you might plan on doing another audit in another 6 months. This helps you look back and see if you've met any of those goals, any of those numbers, any of those measurements that you were trying to do. And along with that, a social media audit is very good for, making that course correction midstream so that you don't have to wait a long time and realize you're going down the wrong road. It helps you identify if you are on the right road or the wrong road and help you make those course corrections along the way. Yeah, this is the big question. Where do I start? What's the first thing you do when you want to do a social media audit? Well, it's good to have a template to follow through and just fill out. So here's some of the things you want to fill out with the basics. Number one, who's doing it? Is it someone in-house? Is it someone that you've hired, a company, to come in and do all your social media engagement? Who is tweeting? Who is posting photos on Facebook? Who's making videos? All those kinds of things. Make a list of all that stuff. Is it a combination of in-house and some sort of company agency that's doing it for you? What does the management think? I've worked with clients who had management who had no idea that they should be in social media. In fact, they thought it was for kids. They thought it was, in fact, a waste of time. Or maybe your management is just not sure yet if they want to do it. Some, of course, managers are on the cutting edge, although social media now is not on the cutting edge. It's mainstream. But they do say, hey, great, let's get involved and let's do more of it. So they're behind you if you're doing social media. Some of the quick measurements you can look at, first of all, you might just talk among yourselves and say, what are our best things? What are our strengths? What are we not so good at? Take a look at all the platforms you're on. Make a list of everything that you're involved in, from Facebook to Flickr, from Twitter to Instagram. What are all those platforms you're on, even if you've only done 1 or 2 things, or if you're engaged fully every day, almost 24/7. And then figure out, what are you best at? What do you get the most reaction from? And what do you feel most adept at engaging in? And also identify those platforms you think, gosh, I only did 1 Instagram photo last month and 1 last year. I'm just not very good at that. So identify those as well. And there may be a few platforms out there, I'm sure you could come up with a lot of them, that you are just not currently engaged on. You may have reasons for it. You may not. You may just say, haven't gotten to it yet. But take a look at those that you are not currently engaged on that you might think about in the future, or some of your competitors are engaged in. You might ask yourself, is there a reason to be there? Again, this is one of the self-assessment things that we go on. And are your main competitors there as well? Some more measurements include, what are your current methods of measurement? How do you measure what those are? Well, a lot of the platforms let you assess the numbers of followers you have. Facebook lets you look at the number of followers. Twitter has followers. A lot of those numbers are very important. They're not the key number, but they are an important number. Also, you look at the trends. Are those followers strongly rising? Are they just moderately rising? Are they really flat? Or are they doing really well? And, of course, the level of engagement is very, very important. Are you getting a lot of lack of engagement? Are you getting people responding to things? How is it working when you try to engage folks on your social media platforms? Do you have systems in place or response protocols to deal with things that happen that are negative? Someone complains about a product. Someone complains about an interaction they've had with your customer service department. Something negative shows up on Twitter or Facebook. Are you, first of all, identifying that it's even happening? And two, are you responding? Is someone out there monitoring those areas for those types of comments? Is someone methodically watching for negative comments? And do they know how to respond to those properly using the correct protocol that you want to represent your company? Believe me, there's a lot of examples of people that have represented companies that are not the kind of people you really want out there representing your company. So if they are out there and they're responding especially to negative comments, it's very, very important that they know how to respond to them. Also, if you have those comments, negative comments, positive comments, how do those get filtered through and sent up to other areas like sales or to the management folks? People that you need to know or should know about what is actually going on in your company ecosystem. How do those comments get shared? Another way to track social media. And if you have a legitimate negative comment, do those by any chance receive some sort of serious consideration or discussion? In other words, is it a good recommendation that they are making? They're saying, oh, your product doesn't do this. It really annoys me. It should do this. Do those actually get sent off to research and development, those types of people that can actually look at that and say, that's not a bad idea. We should do that. So legitimate negative comments are a great opportunity to help grow and tweak and improve your products and your company. Of course, we all want to know what our competition is doing, so identify those main competitors, figure out what social platforms they're on, and what are their metrics. Take the simple measurements. How many people are they engaged with? How many people are following them? How many tweets a month do they have? On their Facebook page, are they posting a lot of photos, hardly any? So just get an idea of where those main competitors are. You don't have to do as thorough of an analysis of them as you are of you, because you can only look from the outside looking in. Of course, your company, you can look from the inside and see what's going on inside as well as from the outside. So what are their metrics? What are their followers? What's their level of engagement with customers? Are they getting a lot of negative comments, or are they getting a lot of positive response as well? And here's one of the big ones. Are you blogging? Do you have a company blog? Is it something that's self-hosted, or is it part of your company site? In other words, are they separate, or are they tied together very well? There's no wrong answer there. Just make a note of if that's the case. And are you drawing connections between your company website and your blog? How about the posts? What are the contents of the blog posts? Are they, basically self-promotional? Like our CEO won a new award. He's going to New York to accept a trophy. Or do they actually answer questions that your customers and potential customers need to know the answer to? Are they solving problems? By the way, most people do not want to read self-promotional posts. They are more interested in themselves and solving a problem. If you can do that, you'll get more readers. Another thing to know about blogging is how often do you post? Are you doing it once a week, once a day, once a month, once a year? Do you use things like video, photographs? Are you podcasting by any chance? And once you post, do you have a method of posting those on social media? Are you uploading them to links to Twitter? Are you letting people know about it on your Facebook page? Are you sharing them on pertinent groups through LinkedIn? And do you, of course, send them out on a newsletter? Do you even have a newsletter? These are the kinds of things you want to know when it comes to blogging. Let's look at the platform of Facebook. Check the metrics. What's great about Facebook is that they have a lot of information available. If you go in the back office, they're behind the scenes in the admin login. Lots and lots of information. So make a note of those. They're good at following trends. So what are those trends? Make sure you are tracking that. Is engagement going up, down? Generally speaking, what's the level of attention people are paying to what you're doing? What kind of posts get the most likes, shares, or comments? Are you actually making note of, okay, this is something we were doing at a trade show. We shared pictures of the new product, and that got a lot of great response from people who can't wait to see it in the marketplace. So those types of things, make a note of the content, the type of content that is getting the most likes and shares or comments. It could be a photograph, it could be a video, it could be just a specific topic that you're talking about. Also look at how many new likes you got this month or last year or last month or this year. And look to your company website. Do you have a link from that website to your Facebook page? Believe it or not, still a lot of companies, even though they have a Facebook page, even though it could be fairly active, they do not have a way to get from your company website to your Facebook page. So make sure that is in place. How often do you put up information and posts and photographs on Facebook? These are all the things you want to look at. When it comes to Twitter, again, how many followers? If someone sends you an @reply, which is a public response to something you're doing, do you get a chance to see that and get back to them within 24 hours? Do you have a biography that has useful information and a relevant link? If you are sending people from your main page on Twitter, your profile page, to a landing page, does that reference, hey, thanks for coming from Twitter. We really appreciate it. Glad you were there. Here's some things you get for it. Those types of things really make people feel like, you know, they're thinking of me. They're doing some good stuff out there. What kind of tweets are common that you have on Twitter? Are you sharing useful information? Or are you just basically tooting your own horn? You're answering questions? Are they self-promotional? Again, I've seen Twitter accounts that I've unsubscribed to simply because they are so self-promotional. There's nothing in it for me. And if there's nothing in it for your followers, your readers, then they won't stick around and they won't come back. What about LinkedIn? Do you have members of management on LinkedIn? Can people easily find them? Do you have a company page, and is it complete? How about people? How many people follow you or follow members of your management? Make notes of all these. Track all of this information so that in 6 months when you do this again, you can say, oh, we've improved. We've gone further. Or, gosh, we're being really stagnant in this area. We should probably put more attention on LinkedIn because a lot of our competitors are there. Do you have management that is involved in groups? You know, what kind of groups? Are they engaged in those groups? Are they just kind of checking in every 6 months and saying, hey, there's a question, I want to answer a question? Or are they joining conversations on a regular basis? YouTube is a fun place. Do you have a YouTube channel? If so, do you post videos regularly? Do those actually help solve problems, or are they more self-promotional? Now, there's nothing wrong with a couple of good self-promotional videos mixed in with other videos, but one of the great examples, of course, is the Will It Blend videos, which went viral. They were self-promotional, but they were fun, and they answered the question, how cool is this blender? And can it blend an iPhone? Can it blend a Kindle? What can it blend? So look at those videos that you do post, and how short are they? Those types of things. How many views do you get? Are they total? Count the total views. Count the views on individual posts and figure out or individual videos. And if those are really popular, if you have one that really rises above the rest, you know, try to duplicate that. Again, what kind of types of videos get the most views? When it comes to creating and reaching goals, you want to know where you are now. That's what the social media audit is for. And then you want to figure out, okay, now that we know where we are, where do we want to be in 6 months? Where do we want to be in 1 year? And what will it take to get there? How long should it take to get there? What will it take? What kind of goals do you want to look at? Of course, more brand building, very, very important. You know, how deep is your market penetration? Those types of things. Do you have a product that you want to get out in front of people that they can take a look at? Do you want to increase all that engagement that's going on the social platform and help nurture those people that are following you, answering questions? If they have, they have questions about your products, are they looking for answers, or do you immediately get back to them, or is it something to where you've got actual some of your other followers, your brand ambassadors that are just love your product but don't work for you? Are they answering those types of questions? If you see negative issues and questions, are you responding in real time? Do you actually have a chance to see something at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and by 5 o'clock you've responded, or even sooner? Real time is what social media is all about. That's what PR is all about. And if you're not figuring out how to do things in real time, you really need to take a look at that. And of course, I think market research is one of the great goals you should have for social media. You learn things, you learn what people like about your product, you learn what people don't like about it, and that information can be used as really valid market research that goes back to the production people, the development people, the research people, and just use that to help tweak those products and services that you do offer. Thanks again for watching this particular video on social media audits and how important they are. You can download your free social media audit template by going to my website at tradeshowguyblog.com/audit. It's there, no strings attached, just really appreciate it.